Hello and welcome to a new tech talk with me, Jörg Mulp, here on my channel and from Small World, Smart World Education. Yeah, it's indeed a small world we are in there today, and Smart World Education is known for best information about artificial knowledge, new technologies, smart technologies like blockchain, AI, robotic IoT, smart cities, and set up everything in a whole environment. And also we discussed Bitcoin. You have seen it on some videos and in a newsletter. Today, I want to talk with you about artificial intelligence and the impact on society and what happens and changed in the world since we got ChatGPT and other large language models. So let me introduce a little bit about what Elon Musk said. And many people ask me, what does it mean, what he wants to say? The world's richest person suggests the technology firms would have to turn to synthetic data, or material created by AI models, to build and fine-tune new systems, a process already taking place with the fast developing technology. That's what he said. And let's talk about synthetic data. As you maybe heard, large language models and AI programs, which are based on data, start to hallucinate. So what do hallucination mean, or what is in that? Let's have a little closer look to that and how does this come? So when you train data on a large language module, so there are a few steps we have to do, and then we have to repeat that steps, and then we have the machine to take over what we want to give them a knowledge on that database. Especially ChatGPT was trained on the whole internet. So everyone who comes in before the regulator said we have to look for copyright. Every large language model trained his data before that has the access to the knowledge of the humans in the internet. And this is quite the whole knowledge of the world, you can imagine. So then people say, okay, the cumulative sum of human knowledge has been exhausted in AI training. That happened basically last year. That's what Elon Musk proposed, and he said all the data have been trained. There's nothing more on knowledge from humans we can use anymore, so we have to create synthetic data. This is something when machines try to find new outputs from this database. So they compare facts, they combine in medical meanings synthetic stuff, or build new items out of the knowledge, which we haven't found yet, and then try to find out whether this could be useful or not. So in Elon Musk terms, they will then self-train their new findings. So for example, they find a new form how we can drive a car, or they will find a new form how a car should look like. Or we found new medical inventions by AI. So that doesn't mean that it is working on humans or animals or that someone will adopt this, but to make a fine tune of all the data and make the product better, they say the machine is now using this created data from themselves to train again and again and again. So this is nothing else more than you use ChatGPT for an answer, and then you use that answer and your question again and train it on Gemini. So what happens is the machine learning is based on the fact that it is thinking there must be more in than it is actually saying. And that happens, so sad, that machines start to hallucinate. So they want to give you more information, but the information has an end because this information is already trained. This information is true. You can't redefine it. For example, 2 plus 2 is 4. You can't redefine it only by training and training again and again and again. But machine learning is like that. After quite a while, it starts to make out of 2 plus 2, 5 or 6, because it is convinced that something must be wrong with 2 plus 2, because you will ask over and over again the same question, and then it is doubting that whether the data are right or the machine has put in the right answer. So when we say, okay, the common knowledge is that 2 plus 2 is 4, and they have been trained and everyone is saying that is right. So we had assisted learning and machine learning that's saying this is the right answer. It has a strong binding. But if 1 billion people on Earth now says 2 plus 2 is 6, and over type it into the machine and always correct the machine and say 2 plus 2 is 6, there is a point where the machine believes that 2 plus 2 is 6 because from the logic that more than billion people say 2 plus 2 is 2 plus 2 is 6. So they have a strong building and strong parameters created inside the machine that says 2 plus 2 is 6. So they do not think about it if this makes a logical sense or nothing else. Yeah, they just see that a billion people say 2 plus 2 is 6 and create parameters that lets into 6, and then we get a hallucinating. So you can do this with facts, you can do this with articles. You see, for example, when we use ChatGPT as a search engine, it comes out that it use different sources and make a summary of the sources. So when some sources who are wrong got the most interest in people who are looking for knowledge and they confirm the knowledge of the wrong knowledge, it always will send you wrong knowledge from the website search, from everything it knows, and from the database it created behind to save that information and build parameters that say that is the most valuable choice we have actually. So you should present that answer. So that's what we call hallucinating. And tricky is when you work with ChatGPT or other models like Gemini, you start to believe what they're saying because it sounds human. And that's another tricky thing. So you do not ask behind because you haven't got the knowledge. And this is what makes very, very tricky. Thinking about you combine some items and a new item is coming out. So this item, it hasn't been checked whether there is a model to work on it. It is just a theory. So now the machine says, okay, I will combine something for you, and then I give you an answer that this product is possible, accessible, and we can create a possibility with a possibility. So you have only that product once in a time because it doesn't exist before. So now the machine, if you train the machine to redefine what it has done, it start over to put knowledge from his old sources again into that output, and yeah, and describes a new product in a different way with old knowledge. So then you can likely see that the knowledge we have now from the new product can be wrong. And now think about, you are not the only person who doing that day by day and train the model with synthetic data. Millions of people in the world use ChatGPT, Gemini, and other models, and they train the machines because they ask questions, because they say, okay, I have a product A, combine it with the product B, and look what product C is coming out. So you can also say to the machine, I have a question. We have a lot of research done in the past. Can you find and try out if we can combine it in a different way? Then it started over. And then you ask, are you sure that your output is right? And then it starts over again doing the same. Maybe it comes to another conclusion, but then you have two different opinions of synthetic output. So which one will you believe? So the only way to fix that is you have to build a model out of that from both sides and see which one of the ideas is working or which is not working. So the other thing is we can't see over the whole knowledge of the world. Only the machine can see what it is and can compare. If it combines something, does it make sense or is it only a waste of time? So it decides whether this product will be a good product or it will reject and says it doesn't make sense that you combine these items because it is not working together. For example, you will cross over a duck with a dog. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's not working. But it could be that the machine says, okay, when you cross a duck with a dog, you have a dog with a duck head. So there you likely see this must be bullshit. But if we come to science work, we come to mathematical theories or physical theories or chemical theories or whatever it is in complex situations, we have a a really problem to make a proof of that if what comes out has built on knowledge, on facts we already use, and is this knowledge now updated? It is gone a step more in a new direction. So when we talk about large language models, the first steps have been made years ago with IBM Dr. Watson. Yeah, that was the first try to build something like a large language model. After that, a couple of years, nothing happens, and then ChatGPT comes. So we see everything we build today is nothing more than a better version of something existing. So when we do better versions of something existing, that's easy to do for artificial intelligence. But if we combine something really new, which is not existing in a former model or in a former real world item or on a study which has done former times, we will likely see that it has to guess if it is working or not. So you see there is no intelligence in that. It's just trial and error. So, and the more we trust into the results without checking whether that is possible or not, it's a danger. So when we want to check out whether something is working or something is not working, we have to train our own knowledge, and that's the important point. So when you go for a course, the people in the course should make you understand that your knowledge is the source for creating something out which is new from ideas artificial intelligence maybe gave to you. But you are the last instance to check whether this is working or not. So think about, we have an automotive world. The machine is saying this will work, and then you send something to a 3D printer, or you have some new ideas which is controlling a security center or something like that. When something is going wrong because the machine is hallucinating, you can likely imagine what happens and what an error can do in the supply chain and how it can destroy things. So that was not because the machine will do that by its own and has the idea to destroy something or let an atomic crafter explode or something like that. That's not the way. It's just because you didn't recheck and you trust into the machine that what is combined is right, because you say this machine has a higher knowledge than me. It must be good to test it. And that when it comes out, it had made all the risks, the checks, the security risks. Yeah. So that's what you say in the prompt. You say, build something out of A and B and make C and then make a security check. It is safe to build that, or is it unsafe to use it? So if you come to the conclusion that it's unsafe, yeah, what happens then? You can stop it. But if you can't overview with your knowledge if it is a dangerous item or it's a harmless item, then you should beware to trust the machine and just build something because the machine is saying that. It's easy when we go to the entertainment industry. We create video, music, or other output, or we make summarize of a text document, or we let write a text for us in a better style. That's easy. That's content you do not have to prove. Um, you do not have to prove of evidence or not. It's just there, and it is working finally very good today. So, but if it comes that you want to create something new, you want to put something on the market, it hasn't been there. For example, you got an idea for a new electric car or a model of a new battery, and you use the AI to create a new battery, and it says it is safe to use and to build, and you build it, and then it explodes, and we have a real damage then there. Not only that you are dead, but it explodes in a way that thousands of people in a surrounding circle is dying because of this explosion. What will the people tell them? Because they say, okay, the AI created it. I trusted in that because I think the AI is more intelligent than me. So think about that hallucinating thing. And to make you more understand how AI is working overall, I want to show you something, because that's the basic on all machine learning. And this is necessary for you to know, because I think a lot of people haven't got any idea how to work with that. I will show you this picture here. So we have that in a discussion, and I was presenting that there. So forget about the rest, but look on the right down corner. So the 7 outcomes of AI. So the thing is, we have the first step, perception, notification, the second, suggestion, the third, 4, automation, 5, prediction, 6, prevention, and 7, situational awareness. And this is always going continuous learning. Yeah, that's what comes now for perception. What's happening now? What do I need to know? What do you recommend? What should I always do? What can I expect to happen? What can I avoid? What do I need to do right now? So let's go for the first perception. What's happening now? Actually, you describe a situation where something is working and you want to update this to a better level, or you want to make a new machine out of an old machine which is working in a new way, has more features or something like that. So you have to actually to say and to describe, for example, for ChatGPT, what exactly is actually in. So what do I need to know? The next thing, and it's always on you. Yeah. The next thing, what you have to do is to get a notification. What do I need to know? And this is the most important point in all of that. If you can't describe what the necessary to know is to build something, where is the basic stuff you have to know? The machine will take maybe some else informations which is not depending on that, and then it's going wrong. Okay, so you have to say, for example, I know you have to know something about physics, you have to have something to know about motor technology or battery technology, whatever you want to improve or update, you have to say which is the basic knowledge. So you say the first thing, what is happening now? I have a machine that is working in that way and that way and that way. And then you say, okay, you need to know about the physics, you need to know about how the machine is working, you need to know where you get actual information about new technologies which you can use to upgrade that machine. So what do you recommend? This is the next question. The next question is not you ask the machine what do you recommend, but you give the machine the AML, you give the machine learning model, the always machine learning model, yeah. So large language model, for example, you give them a recommend. So you say, hey, ChatGPT, I will recommend that you use also that sources and books, which is the last one someone has something written about all that stuff. So you can have an orientation, which which news depends in that field of technology and researches. So ChatGPT will save that and will do his researches on examples like you gave to ChatGPT. Yeah, that is very important because you want to use update knowledge, not old knowledge which has been founded for 20 years. So you train the machine and say, okay, my recommendation is you should take parts of that book. The guy was writing that in 2024, not in 2018. Yeah. So we need the last knowledge. That's what it is. Okay. So you have to give ChatGPT a recommendation where it can find interesting documentations about the thing you are talking about. So what should I always do? Automation. This is a thing. So if you build something new and there is a repeat in that, for example, you build a machine which is going to stand some plates and it's doing this all the time and repeat it and repeat it. You just have to say, where's the automation in that? So every time I'm working on that thing, is there something I should leave it as it is, for example? Yeah. So something is working good in your machine, you don't have to upgrade, but you want to build this good working in a new surrounding. So because you can't update a part of the electronic steering, not or you based on the chips on chips for the computer, which you can't upgrade because you are not inventing new chips. You just want to invent a machine in a new way. So you say, okay, leave the chips in there and use the chips to control the machine. So what was A? What can I expect to happen? And this is the next thing. So it is you to say to ChatGPT what you expect, what could happen. Yeah, so say if we do it in that way, check whether this is security issues out there. Maybe the machine can explode or something like that. You have to check again and again on your knowledge and the knowledge I gave you before on your sources if it is safe to use the machine. You have to say that to ChatGPT. You can't expect that the machine is going that way, okay, from its own experience or something like that. because you build something new. So what can I avoid? So yeah, tell the machine what mistakes humans make when they create something. Tell from the history of humans when they invent new machines. So think about the first Teslas who explode or something like that. Yeah. So think about how can we avoid to make mistakes we already have done because we know in that situation specific on the old machine what we have created what can go wrong. So what do I need to know right now to do? Sorry, what do I need to do right now? This is a question what you ask them and what it's asking you. So you say, okay, check the old system, make it up in a mindset that you can compare new ideas with with the old knowledge, yeah, and the knowledge we already have, and then start to build something new and regard the first steps I was saying to you. What's happening? What do I need to know? What do you recommend? What should I always do? What can I accept to happen? What can I avoid? And then start creating and creating. So, and you have to say to ChatGPT or Gemini, do it step by step. That's very necessary that you prompt in step by step. So when it comes to the first point, it will exactly write what's happening now. The second point, it will show you what do I need to know. Yeah, because of your question, and it will give you suggestions what it was saying. I know I use this source and this source and this source, so you can recheck. Yeah, what do you recommend? It gives you a summary of what you said and say, okay, that's your recommendation. I will look for. So what should I always do? It says, it shows what you have said. What can I expect to happen? Also, it shows you what you said. What can I avoid? ChatGPT is giving you a prompt output where it says, okay, you told me that I can avoid what happens to the old machine when you try this and this, for example. So, and then it asks, what do I need to do right now? Then you say, start working on that machine. Tell me each step you use to create that machine and how you come to your output. How do you come to the conclusion? So what happens now is ChatGPT will build the theory to create this machine, how it will work and how you have to create it, and then it will and then it will show you step by step what it is doing or how it is working on that. So first take a screwdriver, first do this, then I will do that. I will continue with um, updating the software, and the software is coded in that way. So it shows you step by step what happens, and then you can recheck all that things because you are the engineer who wants to be assisted by the machine, and you can see if the machine is going to hallucinate or is it a logical thing what it is writing to you, what it is actually doing, and how the output comes. Yeah. So if it is finishing all that work and says, okay, now these are the steps I have done, and this is the code you have to do for your software for your new machine, and this is how you build your new machine. You can say, okay, on, for example, point 5 underscore 6, there you wrote you will use a software which is coded in that way, but I saw there is an error in your software because you're in software engineering, something like that. You have to say to ChatGPT, hey, in point 5 underscore 6, you have done a mistake, please recheck. And that is how we work with ChatGPT and Gemini when we want to create something. Even if you go to create an app with O1, it's the same. You go that way, the 7 outcomes of AI. If you do that step by step and you do exactly what I said to you, and you give the perception, you give the notification, the suggestion, the automation, the prediction, the prevention, and the situational awareness to ChatGPT, and you can describe it. And this is the real work. Many people think we can do a 5 word prompt or something like that. No, we have to do it step by step, the way the 7 outcomes of AI. And if we do that in that way, you will get a result which is not only astonishing you because you never mind that this is going real and this is working. You will sit there and then you will think about what the heck is the future going to be. That's exactly what you see. You will get an aha effect you have never seen before. And this is I would say this is the magic of this is the real magic of large language models. This is the real magic we can do. So you can also say we will connect ChatGPT with our app, and we can control our app with ChatGPT only by voice. If we finish, there is a voice control, a voice over. You can talk to your app, and the app is working for you only by talking. So we can create an API. So that's what artificial intelligence is meant to be. Telling you step by step what you have to do, telling you step by step what it is going to do by themselves, what's going the large language module to do. So you can check every step if it is hallucinating or not. And then your results will be fascinating. When you say that this is too much work for me, so the easiest way is you do not have to code. You do not have to do anything then the machine is telling you. And the way that you can check whether you're right or not is your own intelligence. Because, hey guys, if you do not have any clue about what you're doing outside there and who you what you are working on, you do not have to expect that the machine is giving you detailed, error-free answers. So don't remember, your knowledge is the knowledge of the machine, actually, because it scanned the internet. Your knowledge is something to be upgraded, but you have to learn what is upgraded. So you update your mindset also, because you are the guy who is responsible for the output, because you told the machine to do something or create something. And if you can't overview what it is creating, you are in responsibility if something is going wrong. So that's why I say prompt it in that way. I show you and repeat it until the finishing result is exactly what you want and it's working in that way you want. And then you got real astonishing outcomes. You can create near every app. You can, and when you do this way, you can hand over the control of your company with daily tasks suggested by the AI to a large language model. You do not have to run to your employees and say, hey, today I need that, I need that, I need that. Give me an answer, write me a document, do this, do this. No, the AI will create all the tasks for you, send it to the employees and check whether they have done the work or not. And then it can compare the work, if it is working, if it is fine, or the employees have done a mistake. So that's a huge, huge step in leading companies or something like that. Even if you haven't studied economy, the only point you have to do is you must know what you have to tell the machine. You can read books about it and say, okay, I read a book about economy and they said this, what you would suggest. And then the machine is also saying you can do it in that way. But you have to recheck that. And then you can lead out of your hands a lot of things to the machine. You save time. The machine is controlling your company. You can go wherever you want. You do not have to be present at the factory. For example, you can make 3-day offs because you have to do something, other stuff. And the machine, ChatGPT, is running your company. And this is another astonishing thing. You can try it just right now. Go for the steps. Go back to the sheet I showed you. Follow these steps and create something out of that by following these steps and explaining in detail these 7 steps. And you will see you will work more efficiently with ChatGPT than any other guy who hasn't seen that video yet. And then you will see what quality is coming out of I/O, ChatGPT Plus, and then you will see real results which help you to make your job quite efficient, more reliable, and saving cost. That's what the magic is about it. So, and then you do not have any hallucinating, and you do not have to have sleepless nights because you think you have done a mistake or the machine has done a mistake. And when it has done a mistake, the next time you go to the accounting manager, he says the machine was sending all your money away, for example. Indeed, think about the detail is the world through automation via large language models. And that's for all of you, I think, a good advice. And you will see there's a whole new world open, far away from song creating, picture creating, or something like that. Just describe what you want in 7 steps. Repeat it and say, hey, ChatGPT, give me step by step what you would like to do. Yeah. And then you control the steps and say, okay, we have to do fine tuning here, suggest another form, and you recheck and recheck. And then finally you say to the machine, that's right. So then you build it in the right way, in a way where it's no hallucinating and where it's working that way you want it to work. And this is the best advice you can give with ChatGPT. You can see sites and videos with prompting and prompting and prompting. Forget about that. These 7 steps you have to follow. You can use it also for videos or when you create a picture. Use this advice and the 7 steps. And you get the best results out of that, and you can trust the machine. Otherwise, it's on you, not on me. Hope you enjoyed that and subscribe my channel here. And yeah, if you want to know more about that in deeper knowledge, just book a course on smart world education. You can find us on swedu.me, SWEDU.me. So book a course and learn about more and deeper than this video is actually. Have a nice day. See you. Thank you for watching.